What's going on, guys? Have we got a beast of a knife to talk about today? This is a Hoback Knives Husky, lent in from my buddy Cliff up in Alaska. Hoback always has very cool packaging, boxes, whatnot. They come with your certificate of authenticity that tells a little bit about the knife. They have kind of his story on the back. You can pause and read if you like. And they always come with the tools to take the knife apart and foam cutout for the knife. And what's really cool is they give you some finger cutouts so that you can grab the knife out easy enough. So I have gotten some knives before that have been sealed in foam so hard that it was ridiculous to even get the knife out. I was scared I was going to cut myself as I was pulling a fixed blade out of the package. Anyway, Cliff, thanks for loaning this in. This is a beast, and we're going to get it out of the way right now. It's 11 and a half ounces. So, if that's a deal breaker for you, I guess you can just move on to the next video. Because you're gonna feel this in your pocket all day long. But it's just so freaking cool. It's legit, all blacked out, murdered out, whatever you want to call it. Nice stonewashed finish on it. Let's just zoom in and take a peek. It's just a beautiful finish. This is like my favorite finish on a blade and a knife, really. I like coated blades. Got some dirt in there, a little dust that I missed before I cleaned it, or while I cleaned it. I don't love the lanyard loop or opening, but I'm okay with it. And I don't love the pocket clip, right? The pocket clip to me is a little, I don't know, maybe it's a little anemic for this knife, if you will. It just almost looks a little out of place because it's just I believe it's just a bent steel clip, and it rides about here. So there's a lot sticking out of your pocket. So I think a nice milled 3D clip would have been really cool. Probably would have driven up the price, but that's okay. I don't know. It's just a cool knife in my opinion. And it fits really well in the hand. And we'll go through all the specs here in just a minute. But this just works for me. This is a cool knife that I would carry. Okay. So you're at 5.5 inches closed, 9.25 overall. So it is not small. So you get 3.73 inches of blade length. So it's not, while this is not small, it is absolutely not ridiculously sized. Okay. It is thick and a bit heavy, but it is overall length and everything is really not that bad. So you have 3.73 blade, 3.54 cutting edge. It is out of Nitro V blade steel. The blade thickness is 0.243 with an overall thickness of 0.77. So it is on the thick side. And like I said, it weighs in at 11.6 ounces and it runs on bearings. So it is super smooth, not drop shut, which is good because with this much of blade and weight, you would not want it to be a drop shut. Now it is titanium scales, and something I don't really mention because I think oftentimes I just kind of brush over it and think, oh, it's just a given. It has a steel lock bar insert, which you can see here where it's this kind of cutout here and up. That is a steel so that you're having steel on steel for the lockup because, and I know a lot of people know this already, but for those of you that might be new to knives, new to my channel, you don't want to necessarily, I'm not going to say you don't want because there's a lot of makers that do it this way, The titanium on the steel blade as the lockup point can create, because they're dissimilar metal, it can create lock stick and galling of the titanium. Now, people do it all the time. I believe the Shargnivko Ryu does not have a lock bar insert. It is just titanium on the steel of the blade for the lockup. And it's not a problem, but it can cause issues. And I have seen it with other makers where you get a lot of lock stick, okay, that you have to work out, or you buy a new knife and it's got stick. And lock stick is, I don't have a knife here that I think has lock stick, not that I can grab, is when you go to open it, it's the lock bar is kind of stuck to the blade. So instead of being just a nice smooth action, you would kind of have to push and give it a little oomph, and it would snap unlocked. Well, that's obviously not something that you necessarily want on your knife. So a way to avoid lock stick is by putting in a lock bar insert so that it's steel on steel as the lockup point. And I know I droned on about that, I am sure, but sometimes I don't take into account that there are new people on YouTube that are not super knife experts. And so sometimes I want to throw in some just general knowledge. So let's do a couple of quick size comparisons here with the number 2 pencil and the Sharpie. And again, this is for the new people or for the people that don't have a lot of experience with a lot of different knives. Because if I am going to say, well, here's a size comparison with a Frederick Knives Tantalus, people are going to be like, oh, what? Because you don't know what this is. I mean, some people know, but maybe you don't know. And you'll be like, that size comparison doesn't mean anything to me. And since we pulled it out earlier, if I pull out the Shargnivko Ryu, you may also say that doesn't do anything for me size comparison wise because I don't know what that knife is. Well, everybody knows what number 2 pencil is. Everybody knows what Sharpie is. And everybody knows what a D-cell battery is. And a AA battery. Okay? And your D-cell battery weighs in at about 5 ounces. So, again, as a size comparison, basically 2 of these and 1 of these in your pocket basically is going to equal that weight of that knife, give or take. So just some size comparisons of things that people are familiar with. You're probably familiar with the Hellraiser because I know I've talked about them once or twice. I might have done a video. So you may be familiar with the Hellraiser size here against the Husky. And let's go with the Spyderco Delica, which a lot of reviewers, I think, use as a reference point. But if you're not into small knives, if you're not into Spyderco, you may not have a clue how a Spyderco fits in your hand or carries. So that may not be a great comparison to a knife. Okay? So I'm just trying to show just a lot of variety and some common everyday normal items that everybody's going to know with the batteries and the Sharpie and the pencil. So there you go. The Hoback Knives Husky. Super cool. Thank you, Cliff, for sending this in. It's just a beast. And I really like this one. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.